Welcome to another episode of Same Page. I am Lenard and and this is my lovely wife.
Sarah Simagist.
And today the topic we'll be discussing is me versus we.
Me versus we. So we can jump right into it.
Yeah.
Lennon and I were actually talking about what it means to be me in a relationship versus we,
The collective
us,
we.
the collective we.
Yeah.
And at some point in a relationship, you might have sometimes to take a step back to work on yourself, me, and other times, you have to sort of work as a unit.
Yes.
So we'll talk a little bit about our journey in regards to me versus we. At the beginning of our relationship, I was very focused on us. The relationship was brand new. You want to be kind of part of the team, right? So whatever he wants to do, you want to do. Your goals just organically just match. And so you're sort of working together to achieve those goals. And at least for me, I kind of forgot about the me part. So everything that was just maybe the things that only I liked, I didn't necessarily work on. But I was so focused on we. So if you wanted to go somewhere, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go with you and meet all your friends. But didn't really take time alone, which I totally enjoy doing now. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So it was a lot about let's think of it as a unit rather than take care of myself.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, it was actually the opposite. Part of me was still a little selfish at the beginning. But I think it stemmed from just the uncertainty of where this relationship was going to go. At the end of the day, ultimately, I wanted to just make sure that Sarah was the right woman for me. So I didn't want to totally invest all of me into this relationship. Now, I didn't necessarily not think about us because our relationship progressed and we moved forward. But I know a lot of the decisions I made at the beginning were focused on me and things that I wanted to do, things that I enjoyed, less than the collective we.
Okay. Okay, so I was focused on me and you were focused on me.
Yes.
Okay. It still sort of worked because I was
I don't know how it did, but yeah.
with a lot of butting heads.
Exactly.
But for me, as the relationship progressed, I saw that the part of me that was maybe more an introvert, the part of me that liked certain things was not being fed. So I started maybe sometimes resenting Len a little bit because I felt that I was giving all myself to the relationship. Not that I didn't see that was reciprocated, but I wanted more time for myself. So as the relationship progressed, I actually started, you could say, taking a step back in a sense that I didn't feel guilty working on myself as much. So if, for example, Lennon wanted to do something on a Friday night with friends, I would say, you know what, you go ahead. I want to take some time and just be alone because I do like that quiet time. Or if something wasn't necessarily aligned with what I wanted to do, I just stopped feeling bad.
Yeah,
feeling guilty about saying no to certain things that didn't make me feel happy.
Yeah.
Because maybe I felt like I was losing myself a little bit in the relationship. And actually, when I started doing that and working more on myself, maybe taking more time to exercise, taking time to eat more healthy, one example is that we have sort of different eating habits,
yes.
Right? And I always wanted to make sure that the meal we ate was something that I would like and that Leonard would enjoy. But because we have such different eating habits, I would most of the times cater to him and be like, okay, well, you want this, then I would make something that he would like. But then I necessarily wouldn't feel good, and I wouldn't like, not that I wouldn't like it, I would like it, but it didn't necessarily agree with me. So as time progressed, I just started being like, you know what, I'm gonna make this because that makes me feel good, and this is something that my body needs. And if you don't want it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Then you can either eat it or make something else. And it sounds very selfish and the way you say it, but at the same time, I felt like it was something I needed to do in order to feel good so that eventually I could be better, feel better to actually work on us together.
Yeah. For me, I guess once I took that leap of faith, because regardless what people may say, I believe, especially from a male's perspective, once you ask a young lady to be your wife, you're definitely taking that leap of faith. As much as you feel like you may know that person, there's still a few uncertainties and a few unknowns that that may creep in. But at the end of the day, like you're hoping that the conversation you guys had, the time you guys have spent together, and what you've built during this time is enough to get you over that little hump. So once I took that leap of faith, I went from me more to we. Once we moved in with each other, once we got married, and once we got into that, I guess, that routine of marriage.
Okay.
Then whether it was our finances, our goals, or even our activities, then my mindset shifted from a we perspective.
Okay. So you felt like your decisions was more, you kind of took me into account in your decisions more than you did before. It was more like kind of a little bit more selfish. Is that
at the beginning? It was definitely more selfish. Yes.
Okay. So I guess even though I decided to sort of focus on us at the beginning and then on myself later on, and then you did vice versa.
Yeah.
It still sort of worked.
Exactly.
Right?
But I think it worked because ultimately the underlying, theme or focus was always on the relationship.
Right. Yes, that's right.
On the relationship, on growing, on building, and then as we took it to the next level, perhaps individually our perspectives changed a little bit.
Right.
But our goals were always in line.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. For me, taking that time to work on myself, on my me, is really for the greater good of the relationship.
Exactly.
Because I feel like if I'm one strong person in a relationship, then, and if we have two strong people in the relationship, then it'll make a stronger unit.
Exactly.
Whereas if I'm, this resentful, unhappy person in a relationship, and when the other person is, happy and doing well, then the unit cannot be as strong. So if each part of the unit is actually, doing well, happy and strong, then I feel like it makes a better unit.
Exactly.
So I don't feel like it is selfish, and I think you're right. I sort of changed my perspective as to, before I used to think it was selfish, but now I think it's more empowering and more looking into the future rather than, this is something that I'm selfishly doing, staying on my own and not helping Len, but at the time, this is what I need so that I can come back even stronger.
Exactly. And one thing you brought up that was very important is how resentment seems to creep into certain relationships a lot of times, whether you have the me or the we perspective, and once that festers, it becomes really toxic, and it literally seeps and spreads to other aspects of your relationship. So whatever side you need to take, and it's not about taking sides, but whatever aspect or perspective that you end up going, you at the end of the day, you really want to make sure to work on yourself, be the best version of yourself.
That's right.
And then come together with your partner to become a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Have a positive outlook on the relationship and life and the vision that you guys have established together.
Yeah, well said. So I think that's that.
Yeah.
So don't feel guilty about working on yourself, because at the end of the day, if the underlying reason is really to better the relationship, then I think it's a good thing to do.
Exactly. And this goes back to I think to something that we talked about in the previous show. It's all about not only being on the same page, but to to stay connected with your partner. So if you notice that your partner is going through that I guess maturing phase, or going through that self-awareness phase where
they're like withdrawn a little bit more.
When they're withdrawn a little bit more, like you see that they're trying to work on themselves, then you should be there to encourage them and support them in however you can, because the better version of that person will make their unit that much stronger.
Right. And as long as that person communicates why they're doing it, because it can definitely be perceived as, you know, you never spend time with me, or you want to do this on your own. But if you know that it is, you know, to help the relationship later on, then you should voice that. So communication is always key in that instance, so that nobody's left in the dark, just like you said. Good. Yeah. All right. So that was our episode on me versus we. Let us know maybe what stage you're at in your relationship. Are you more working on yourself, or do you feel like you're strong enough to really be a unit and really go back to the couple and work together as a unit? So yeah.
Exactly. And if you please leave your comment, like, subscribe.
And we'll have another episode up hopefully sooner than
later.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Bye everyone.
Bye.